see what Oliver Sloup's got to say about it with Blue Line Futures in Chicago. Oliver, what do you think about these livestock prices?
Well, pretty disappointing, and I feel like that's been a reoccurring theme, especially for the live cattle market. We've got the cash market trading up in the 140s, 141, and the June futures just really not able to use that to their advantage and not even in holding ground here. We're just continuing to bleed lower, and I know you and I have talked about this for the last several weeks. I think a lot of that is probably on the back of the headwind spilling over from the outside markets. We've got equity markets now in a bear market territory, which is defined by 20% from the all-time highs. That's where the S&P is at today. And so until we get that peak panic capitulation in the outside markets, lower prices seems like the trend that we're going to continue to see here in a lot of these commodity markets, especially the ones where demand might be a little bit more affected from the consumer.
You know, we mentioned capitulation when we were off air here for a second, and and I said, well, maybe we're seeing it, but in a slower way. But also, when everything is selling off lower, there's a lot of things that are just lower for no reason. It's just that they've almost like given up hope. That's a lot of times when you just see everybody sell everything, it's just like, I'm done, I'm out, get me out. It doesn't mean that you need to see one particular thing, like an indices, get slammed. Sometimes when just everything is just getting slammed, then you kind of think, okay, this might be closer to the end. I'm not going to call an end, but I do know that we had a lot of things this morning. Metals were off. A lot of things were off that wouldn't be trading with each other like that. But this time it seemed like people were just liquidating. I don't know if you've got any thoughts about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned metals there briefly. I'm extremely disappointed in gold and silver. Gold, probably more specifically. Usually that's a safe haven asset, especially in times of inflation. And with the crash in crypto, you'd think you'd start to see some reallocation into the precious metals. But as you had mentioned, just a lot of things are getting sold. Doesn't matter what it is.
They're taking their ball and they're going home. That's what they're doing. All right. Appreciate that, Oliver. That's Oliver Sloup, Blue Line Futures. He's in Chicago.